It's time for another magic review. Welcome back, friends. Good to see you out there. And if you're new around here, thanks for dropping by to check out this review of Electric Touch Plus from Yigal Mesika. Yigal Mesika's name is one you might recognize. He's put out some other great stuff, things like Loops, Electric Touch, the original. Let's see, Spider Pen, Tarantula 2, Mesika Ring Flight. So he's had a great track record of good quality stuff. And today we're going to give you the updates on what makes this a plus version of the original Electric Touch, which came out, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago now. So there are some new things to tell you about. We're also going to break down what this is and give you some of the technical information so you can really figure out if this is something you want to use yourself, okay? So first of all, what is this? What is it? This is a utility device. This is not a single trick. This is something that you wear, and it allows you to kind of look and feel like you have superpowers. So if that sounds good to you, don't go anywhere. More specifically, you're able to do things like, let's say someone's thinking of someone important to them, and you want to see if you can read their mind and figure that out. You would have them touch your forehead, and when they do, they feel a shock, and now you're able to reveal the person that they're thinking of. And vice versa. Let's say you have a card, you just put reverse in the deck, put the deck down, you want them to see if they can figure it out. You touch their forehead, they feel the shock, they name a card, and it's the card reverse. So there's this visual, not visual, but more of like an accented moment when they feel that moment when the thought transfers. So that's one cool thing you can do with this shock. You could also use it in other ways. I think at one point he drew like a dog on his hand, and he has someone touch it, and it's almost like the dog bit him. So you can use the shock in other ways. That is something that you can do. You can also light up fluorescent bulbs, which is really damn cool. One person holds one end of the bulb, another person holds the other end, and without you actually touching the bulb, it starts to light up. So that's really cool stuff. If you wanted to, you could kind of do your magic motion, around the bulb to make it light up, but you don't have to touch it. That's important to note. So you could do that if you want to. You could also, I don't know, you could bend water. That's not something you hear every day, right? You can bend water. In one of the videos, Yigal's got a faucet where he's got the water coming out in a cup, but the water's not going into the cup. And then he kind of brings his hand close to it, and the water literally starts to bend, so it's now going into the cup. So that's a moment that people probably have never seen before, may never see again. So that's cool. And last but not least, you can do things like animate stuff. You can animate confetti, salt and pepper, tobacco. If you took some out of a cigarette and put it on the table or whatever and kind of move your hands around, and it starts to animate. And when they try to do it, of course, they can't do it. So that's some really cool stuff as well, some more visual stuff. And you have the thing where you actually give them that shock. So it's like that moment that something's happened. So those are the things you could do with this. And as I mentioned before, this is something that you wear. So we're going to get into those specifics here in just a moment, but I want to let you know first about what's new about this. I'm starting with the price. The price for Electric Touch, the original, was over $200. And now it's down to $120. So the cool thing is the price has gone down, but the strength has gone up because it's now 20% stronger than it was when it first came out. So that is a nice addition for sure. It's also still fully adjustable. So this is something that, yes, you wear, but it's fully adjustable to where you don't have to have a certain size of something or feel uncomfortable. This is something you build around you, okay? So I think that's important to know. They've also included some better quality stuff to help make the handlings of this better. Also make the performance of this just higher, just a higher performance of everything. And also they've re-engineered some of the components of this. They've gone under the hood, as they say, to make this better and last longer. So they really went inside the guts of this and they re-engineered some of that too. So that's cool. A couple other small details. If you had the original, there's no more DVDs, obviously, so it's all online instructions, which is great. It goes into great details and shows Yigal using this a lot. And also you might notice that the packaging looks a little different. They did repackage it from the original, so that's why that might not look familiar to you. So those are the new details about what this is, and now we're going to jump into some of the specifics on what you need to know about this. Back to the wearing thing, that's where we're going to start. There are two different setups that are included, and when I talk about setup, the most important part of this has to do with your shoes, okay? So there is a temporary setup where you could use any of the shoes that you have. And I want you to remember that too. You do not just have to use like dress shoes or tennis shoes. It doesn't matter the type of shoe, but you need to have a pair of shoes that you're going to set this up with. So the temporary version, you would set that up and now you're ready to go out and do it. You wanted to do this with a permanent setup. It's something that you would need a dedicated pair of shoes for, and you would take it to a shoemaker. And this is something any shoemaker can do. It's very easy to do. It might cost you $20, maybe $30, but it's a total custom job here that allows you then to use this with the same pair of shoes all the time. So that is nice, and I like that the small bit of alteration you have to do, once it's done, it's done. You don't have to keep doing this over and over. So that is also cool. Also, some of the things like this, because you're activating something to make the magic happen. I don't want you to think that once this is turned on, you're just walking around kind of loaded, ready to do this, where you don't want to do it sometimes when you're not ready or you don't want to, mess with people. The way you turn this on and off, you don't physically do anything with your hands. You literally just bring your feet together and the unit turns on, you move them apart, the unit turns off. So it's not like you're having to worry about is the thing on or off. Makes it very safe, and also makes it very convenient. So you're not having to reach to do anything. Literally you just bring your feet together and apart and it's on and off, which is great too. So that is an important note as well. And I do want to say too, this is something that is safe, okay? I would certainly use this in ways that you see the visual stuff, and maybe some of the things that you would do. I want you to know that the shock that you're doing for some of the other stuff is nothing that's dangerous, okay? This is not stuff to where you're going to be worried about injuring people or stuff like that. This is a very safe thing that you're doing, okay? It sounds crazy in the name electric touch, it sounds like you're just electricity everywhere. It's not as crazy as you think. You can do crazy things with this, but I want you to know it's a lot safer than you probably think too. And for me, I think that's the most important part, is this is something that is safe to use, not just for you, but for your spectators as well, okay? I think that's something that should really, that you should really know about, Another thing that's mentioned here is that to make this have the maximum effect, they recommend getting some extra insoles for the shoes that you're going to be wearing. The only reason they didn't include them is because, guess what? We all have different shoe sizes. So trying to figure that out for everybody, you'd have like 20 different versions of this box. And that doesn't sound like much fun, especially as a producer of magic. So very cheap to find those, but if you really want to make this work extra good, just pick up some extra insoles and add them to your shoes and you're all set. Also on the technical side, this is something that uses batteries. I want to say that. And one set of those batteries should last you up to 100 performances. They do recommend using some nice high quality batteries to get the most of the time that you have with the unit with the batteries in use. So don't just get the cheap little dollar store ones. If you really want to use this and have it work for a while, pick up some of the Duracell or whatever. Just get some of the nicer batteries, the high quality batteries for this. They also recommend maybe a little bit of a delay between when you use the unit to when you use it again. I'm not saying you have to wait 5, 10, 20 minutes, but maybe just give it a minute or two and then you can use it again. They do recommend, on the instruction, just allow a few minutes. I would say maybe 1, 2, maybe 3. But this is also something I want to say, a lot like the smoke devices that we've reviewed in the past. Don't just overuse this. If you start just, shocking here and shocking here and shocking here, and this lights up and this moves, it really kills the overall effect and the feeling of this, that it's something special. So while you shouldn't just use it over and over again, from a method standpoint, from a technical standpoint, also just from a overall effect standpoint, it just kind of makes it look like, you can do these things, big deal. Really highlight those moments. Also, I want to let you know that when you're doing some of the things where when they touch you or you touch them on the head, you also feel the shock. Now the thing is though, obviously you're going to get more used to that and you don't want to react when they're reacting because it should just be happening to them. But I do want to let you know that you can also have other things that you're holding and they'll still feel the shock, and you will not. So if that idea of, well, damn, I don't want to feel that. Let's say you're holding, I don't know, a spoon. You hold the spoon and they touch the spoon and they feel the shock, okay? So you can do that with silverware, keys, coins, silver, something silver. They touch the item, they're gonna feel the shock, but you're not, okay? So trying to get into as many of these details to let you know, it's a personal thing. This is a personal thing because you're wearing something. I want you to make sure that you know that you're going to be all right with this, okay? Also want to let you know that if you want to use this with more than one pair of shoes, let's say that you were looking to do this and you're like, well, damn, I really want to do it where I have a dedicated pair of shoes, but I also want to use it in a more, social setting where maybe one pair of shoes is dedicated, that's dress shoes, and you want to use it in another pair of shoes, it's like your tennis shoes or something like that. They also have these available, and these are only, I think, $20. This is something that's a Electric Touch Plus. This is the Electric Touch magnet and housing. So I'm only mentioning these things because this is something that you can then have other pair of shoes ready, and this is the part that you're going to use to be able to use the other shoes. So if you want to, you don't just have to buy the same unit over and over just to be able to put it in a different pair of shoes. The parts to do that you can buy separately, and I think these are like $20. So then you can purchase the main unit, put it into one pair of shoes. Those shoes are ready. You still have to use the main unit, but now you don't have to worry about taking out everything from the first pair and putting it into another pair. So you can just get this as a separate thing, which is really nice. So glad they thought about that. Because I know not everyone's going to want to just use the same pair of shoes all the time, and you still want to be able to perform it. So there you go. So those are most of the details here, honestly. I mean, as I mentioned before, don't think of this just as a single trick. Oh, wow, you can make a fluorescent bulb light up or a fluorescent light light up. Oh man, I can move water. No, like you can do all of this stuff. You can have them feel stuff. You can move things. You can do all these crazy things, and it's all just based on something that you wear. And I do want to say one last thing about that is sometimes when we wear stuff as magicians, it's more about our jackets, long sleeves, things like that. The cool thing with this is the way that it works, it's nothing to do with up here. So this is something that's more going on down by your feet, down by your legs. So you do need to wear like long pants to do this. You need to wear some kind of pants. Doesn't matter what type of pants. You just need to wear pants. You can't do this with shorts on. That would really not look good or right, to be honest with you. But that's the only thing when it comes to that you need to be not worried about, but just you need to acknowledge that this is something that you wear and it's comfortable. I want to mention that too. It is something that's comfortable to wear, but it's something that's not going to intrude up here. As a lot of magicians, as a working magician myself, pocket space is important. Or things going on with the sleeves, or whether or not you have sleeves. It's always important. So with this, you don't have to worry about any of those things. It's all kind of covered down there, okay? And you put it on and you're ready to do this all day. So that's pretty rad. So I think that is it. So if you do have any questions that I mentioned, feel free to drop them below in the comments. I do want to thank Yigal Mesika again for sending me this to look at. Doing my best to bring you guys as many of the details as possible, but I know sometimes there's stuff you still want to know, so don't be shy out there. Let us know. And if you do want to pick up your Electric Touch Plus, we've got them in stock for you right now. I did notice a lot of other shops are out of these right now, so if you are interested, we do have them in stock as of the time of this video, ready to ship to you. And as I always say, we would love to amaze you with our fast shipping and amazing customer support. So visit us over at allthingsmagic.com. We also have the links for you in the comments and in the description of this video, so you can pick up your Electric Touch or any of the hand-picked tricks that we like for you. So don't forget to check us out over there. And I guess that's about it. So we'll be back in the next video for more reviews, and we also go live on Tuesday nights with a really fun weekly show. So if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to drop a like on this video, or on Facebook. Drop a like on this video, and also sub to our channel if you're watching on YouTube. And also over on Facebook, don't forget to follow our page. We're pushing 40,000 followers over there, which is pretty rad. So thanks to everyone that has supported our channel that way. Now let's get YouTube booming as well. So thank you again to everyone for being out there and checking us out tonight or during the day or whatever it is. This is just my way of finding a way to say goodbye. So I will see you in the next video. And in the meantime, take care of yourself. Have fun with your magic. And I'll be back soon. See ya.